Most people think being ignored means you're weak, unimportant, or not worth attention. But let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that small shift inside you when someone doesn't reply, doesn't notice you, or suddenly goes cold? Did you start questioning yourself, even though you did nothing wrong? That feeling is more common than you think. And here's the truth. Being ignored is not the problem. How you respond to it is where the real power is. In fact, one of the strongest things you can do in that moment is to mirror their behavior. Not in a childish way, not to play games, but to send a clear psychological signal. I match energy. I don't chase it. And psychology shows this changes everything. Let's break it down. Number 1. It removes the reward they're expecting. When someone ignores you, what do most people do? They double text, they explain more, they try harder. Be honest, have you ever done that? And when you do, you're actually rewarding the behavior. Psychology shows that people repeat what gets rewarded. If ignoring you gets them more attention, they'll keep doing it. But when you mirror them by stepping back, staying calm, and not reacting, you remove that reward completely. Now the pattern breaks. For example, if someone takes hours to reply and you instantly respond every time, what message are you sending? Now flip it. What happens if you match their pace instead? Suddenly the dynamic changes. Number 2. It creates psychological curiosity. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been more curious about someone who suddenly became distant than someone who was always available? That's not random. Humans are wired to notice what's unpredictable. When you always respond fast, always show interest, always stay available, you become easy to read. But when you mirror distance, you introduce uncertainty. And research shows that uncertainty increases attention. Now they start thinking, why didn't they reply? Why aren't they reacting? Your silence becomes noticeable. Not because you're playing games, but because you're no longer predictable. Number 3. It protects your emotional energy. Think about this honestly. How much time have you wasted overthinking someone who didn't even give you basic attention? Checking your phone again and again, rereading messages, creating scenarios in your head. It drains you. But what happens if instead of reacting, you pause? Instead of chasing, you step back. Psychology shows that when you create distance from emotional triggers, your mind becomes calmer and clearer. So instead of letting their behavior control your mood, you take your control back. Ask yourself, is this person even worth my mental energy? That question alone can change everything. Number 4. It signals self-respect without confrontation. A lot of people think they need to speak up every time they feel disrespected. But let me ask you, do people really respect words or do they respect behavior? Sometimes the strongest message is silence. When you mirror someone's effort, or lack thereof, you're not arguing, you're not explaining, you're simply matching what they're giving. And psychology shows that people adjust based on how others respond to them. If you keep giving attention to someone who gives you nothing, what are you teaching them? But when you step back calmly, you show that your attention has value. That's not ego. That's self-respect. Number 5. It shifts your mindset from chasing to choosing. This is where everything changes. Let me ask you something real. Are you trying to be chosen or are you choosing? Because when someone ignores you, it's easy to fall into chasing mode. You try to win their attention. You overthink their behavior. You make them the center. But mirroring flips that completely. Now your mindset becomes, if they show effort, I'll match it. If they don't, I move on. And psychology shows that people who see themselves as having options naturally appear more confident. Because they're not desperate for attention, they're selective about it. So instead of asking, why are they ignoring me? You start asking, do I even want this? That's power. Real power. Now, before you go, let me ask you one last thing. How many times have you given your energy to people who didn't deserve it? And how different would your life feel if you simply stopped chasing and started matching? If this made you think differently, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel is for. On This Explains You, we break down behaviors like this, things you feel but can't explain, using simple psychology that actually makes sense in real life. So if you've ever felt ignored, misunderstood, or emotionally drained by people, go check the channel. You'll probably find yourself in more videos than you expect. And if you want to understand your mind, your behavior, and your hidden strengths on a deeper level, subscribe to This Explains You. Because sometimes the things you think are your weaknesses are actually your greatest strengths.